Welcome to another episode of the Root of Everything podcast. Last episode, we kind of went over how you should be assessing your outlook on your past, present, and future. And within all of that, I was trying to get y'all to look beyond surface level of things in your life. And today, we're going over how you can practice looking beyond the surface level of things and how you can unlock different ways to look in the world and to think differently when it comes to every situation in your life. So when you do need to get to the root of everything of your own life, you can find your passion easier.
Friends turn enemies, lovers turned into flings. As I grow older, I'm cutting off these loose strings and moving on to better things, hoping it'll better me. Some things you just know and some things I never seen. Some peasants will get crowned, some kings won't ever be. Evidently, I'ma shine inevitably. It ain't a young out that's better than me, and when they say they go hard, I laugh hysterically.
Today, I want to give y'all a way you can go beyond the surface level of everything. I want to give you a way you can practice on a daily basis, getting to the root of everything. You see, I believe at the root of everything is passion, and if you've been following along, you know that. But you have to practice getting to the root of everything with anything so you can learn to do it for yourself. I call it the infinity decimal. It's something I've been obsessed with for a long time. I'm sure there's probably a scientific or mathematical way to actually put what I'm talking about. But basically what I'm kind of obsessed with is how you can keep cutting something in half and it never equals zero. No matter what, you can cut this piece of paper or table, keep cutting it in half, and you'll never get to zero. You can take a decimal and keep dividing it. You'll never get to zero. Things keep getting cut in half. And you can do that with things in life. If you can keep cutting things in half and seeing deeper to the root of something, you can practice getting to the root of things. So, for example, you can look at a TV. You can look at where was it before it was a TV, and then which parts came there and which parts came there to get this type of material, to get to this, and then you can bring it all the way back to how it got to where it is right now. That is very innovative to think about. To be able to go back to think to the root of something takes a lot of mind capacity. For example, the simplest version of the infinity decimal is the chicken and the egg. People ask what came first, the chicken or the egg. Honestly, I don't know. The chicken came from an egg, but then again, where was the first chicken to make the egg? I don't know, but you could go on forever. But if you can practice going to the root of everything with everything, then it will be so much easier to find your passion. So when I'm saying you can't get to zero, I believe the one thing you can get to zero is two things. You can get to passion at the end of the day when you look into yourself. You can get to zero when you're trying to chop things down till you get to zero. You can get to passion, and then you can get to God or unforeseen image or of greater being. So when we're talking about the chicken and the egg, you can only get to really like whoever made the world. Or when you get to finding who you are and your passion, that can get to zero. But everything else, you're never going to be able to actually get to zero. So when you can find something at its simplest form, that's when it's infinite. And there's only two things for that. It's inside of you. You get one thing that's infinite, and then whatever the God is or whatever the upper being is, those are the things that possess infinite potential. So you have to practice getting to 0.000001 of other things. So when you got to get to the important one, the one you can control, and that's your passion, you will have that practice with you. Now, I'm not saying that this is a trick to finding your passion. You might not ever practice the infinity decimal and you find your passion, but it gives you a chance to practice it. It gives you a chance to look at everything and say, okay, that's where the root of this is, or almost the root of this is. And beyond just practicing for your passion, it also helps you with day-to-day things. For example, when you're trying to go to the depths of why you did something in the past or why something happened in the past, if you can use the infinity decimal method of going to each step of something and looking at it and saying, okay, this is why I truly did this. I wasn't really doing this because of this. I was doing this because of this. And then if you look into your present tense, you can look at maybe somebody's intentions. If somebody's coming to you with something, you can maybe say, okay, maybe he's doing this, maybe he's doing this. You're thinking deeper than just surface level. You're thinking beyond just whatever you see, what comes to your eye. You're thinking branches and branches down. So if you can do that, then you can look into the future and you can say, okay, I know what happened in the past and the root of the past. I know what happened in the present. Now I can assess from the root of maybe problems in the past and in the present and find a solution for the future. You see, all that is good, but at the end of the day, I really want y'all to find the root of things so y'all can practice getting to the root of you. If you can figure out the root of everything, which is passion inside of you, and practice using the infinity decimal, I know it's weird. It's probably something most of y'all are probably like, what is this dude talking about? Probably still doesn't understand. But if you can practice cutting things in half and realizing the reasons for things happening, then you can realize the reason for you. And you can realize that, okay, I get up and do this every day and I'm happy doing this. And you can cut that in half and say, okay, it's really not just this overall thing. It's this particular thing about it. I can say I like playing sports, but really I just like being competitive. I just cut it in half. If you can cut in half everything you do in life and realize truly what you do, you can get to your zero, what equals your infinity. So try to use the infinity decimal on a daily basis and just look at anything and say, okay, this came from this and this came from this. And your mind will become more innovative because it understands things aren't just base level. You will understand that everything has something before it. Everything had a purpose, or everything had a process to getting there. And you have to go through that process yourself to find out what your passion is. So keep looking deeper into things, and maybe one day you will find your zero, your root of everything, your passion. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Root of Everything podcast. If you enjoyed any minute of it, please hit the like button, comment, subscribe, or leave us a rate. If you really want to stay in tune with Root of Everything content, please go to our website and other platforms and subscribe to our other content, even our weekly newsletter called The Weekly Root.